Should you sell your house in 2021? I'm talking about all of that starting right now. Hey everyone, I'm Caitlin McKegg. I'm a realtor here in Phoenix, Arizona, and today I'm talking about should you sell your house in 2021? I get that question a lot, so I want to give some information to hopefully help you make that decision. If this is your first time to my channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. I post 2 new videos every week, usually a market update on Mondays and talking all about what's going on in the Phoenix real estate market. And on Fridays, I post something about buyer or seller tips or neighborhood tours, so make sure you stay tuned to check all of that out. Also, follow me on social media so we can keep in touch there. I post a lot of great information there as well. All right, should you sell your house in 2021? Well, it depends on a lot of factors, and I'm gonna throw you a few questions. First of all, when did you buy your house? How much equity do you have in your house, and why do you need to sell your house? Those are a few things I think you should consider before deciding to list your house for sale. We all know that it's a seller's market and prices are high, so it is really enticing to sell your house, but you need to think through some of those options. Another thing to think about is, where are you going to go once you sell your house? You have to remember that once you sell, if you're gonna go buy, then you're back in the frenzy of everyone else trying to find a house. The question of when did you buy your house is one that I ask for a couple reasons. Number one, how much equity do you have? But number two, are you going to have to pay capital gains taxes? If you sell a primary residence before owning it for 2 years, you are susceptible to capital gains taxes. And what that is a tax that the government will take on the gain of your sale. So if you bought the property for $100,000 and you sell it for $200,000, the government could tax the gain of that sale, which is that $100,000. The percentage of tax varies based on your income and your tax bracket, but usually somewhere between 15 to 20%. I would advise talking with your financial advisor about this before you make that decision, but just to take note there, if you haven't owned the house and it's a primary residence for 2 years, you may want to consider that. Now, if it's an investment property, that's a whole nother thing, because you can use a 1031 exchange to move those funds from the sale into a new investment and actually not have to pay capital gains. Another thing to research and get more information about before you make the decision, but if it's an investment property, it might be different than your primary. So what can you get for your house if you decide to sell it? Well, I have the median home prices for every major city here in the Phoenix area. Let's take a look at that. As you can see, this really varies by city. Let's start in Paradise Valley, which is a whopping $2,225,000 as the median sales price. Phoenix sits at $336,000, and you got to remember that Phoenix is a very large span of our city, so it encompasses a variety of price ranges. Scottsdale sits at $659,900. Fountain Hills, $539,313. Go down to Mesa, $340,000. Chandler and Gilbert, both very close, $420,000 and $455,000. And then if we pop over to the West Valley, we see Buckeye at $335,000, Goodyear at $385,000. Both of those are pretty similar. Avondale, $325,000, Tolleson, $319,000, Levine, $365,000. And then you have the Northwest area, Surprise at $345,000, Litchfield Park, $425,000, Peoria, $396,000, Glendale, $335,000. So hopefully that gives you a better idea of what the median price ranges are and what you might be able to get if you sold your house in that area. Now, a lot of that really depends on your home type, the size, the particular neighborhood. So those are very general, but if you're interested in getting a more accurate estimate of what you could sell your house for, you can always reach out to me anytime for that. If you bought your house as recently as 6 months ago, you stand to see quite a bit of appreciation in that asset, and you might be surprised to know how much equity you actually have. Our appreciation rates have been soaring recently, so it's a great thing if you're a homeowner right now. Let's take a look at the appreciation rates based on annual average dollar per square foot. Scottsdale seems to have the highest appreciation rate as we review these numbers. Again, these are based on annual average dollar per square foot. There are other ways to look at appreciation by looking at the monthly average dollar per square foot. So appreciation rates can vary depending on how you're calculating them. This is the more conservative method. Scottsdale at 21.3%, Maricopa's up there too at 20.4%. We've got Queen Creek almost at 20%, Phoenix 19.4%, Cave Creek 18.8%, all the way down to, on the low end, seeing Paradise Valley at 12.7%, which is still extremely high. I know it's hard to see Chandler there, but their appreciation rate is 14.9%. When we're in a balanced market, appreciation moves with the rate of inflation, which is usually 2 to 3% per year. So seeing these numbers in the 12, 14, 16, 20% range, you're seeing that we are really experiencing some very unique and high rates of appreciation right now. So great news for you if you're a recent homeowner or if you've had a home for a long time, you are definitely seeing a huge increase in your home value. So I have another question for you. If you're considering selling only to make some money off the sale of your property, have you considered being a landlord? I know that doesn't sound that great, but our rent rates are really high right now. So depending on when you purchased your home and how low your mortgage is, you might actually be able to rent out your house and make some money on a monthly basis by having a tenant in your house paying the average rental rates right now. The median rent in the Phoenix area is $1,850 a month. It's very possible that your mortgage rate is lower than that. So if you're interested in holding on to this asset and also making some money, being a landlord might be a good solution for you. Of course, you need to find somewhere else to live and you need to be able to still own this house, but you could have a tenant in place paying $1,850 more or less depending on your area. And if your mortgage is significantly lower than that, you're making some cash flow on a monthly basis. So that's something to think about before you list your house for sale. So where are our prices heading? I wish I had my crystal ball for this conversation, but unfortunately I can't get it to work. But based off of everything that I follow on the Cromford Report, if you're not familiar with the Cromford Report or my market updates, make sure to check out those videos where I take you through all the statistics of how we're predicting price appreciation in this market. Looking at all of that information, prices will continue to increase for the next 12 months, as long as we continue on the same trajectory that we're at now. Cromford measures this by using the Cromford Market Index, which takes into consideration supply and demand in our market. As long as our demand is more than our supply, prices will continue to increase. Now in this chart, you can see that the black line follows the Cromford Market Index, and the blue bars show our appreciation rates as related to the market index. The market index always moves first, and then appreciation rates follow that pattern. You can see that the market index has started to move downward, and if you've been paying attention to my updates, that's no surprise. But this doesn't mean that prices are going down. This just means that our appreciation rates will follow in this same pattern and won't be quite as high as what they are today. In my opinion, that's totally fine. Remember, 2 to 3% appreciation is normal, and here we are at 20%. So if those appreciation rates soften a little bit, it's not going to kill us. My point is, this is the best indicator for us to see where we're headed in this market. Our appreciation rates will probably go down slightly as it follows this black line. We're still in a place where our demand greatly outweighs our supply, and until those two things can come together, we're going to have pressure on prices going in an upward direction. So I know I didn't give you a straight answer on whether or not you should sell your home in 2021, but hopefully this gives you the data that you need to make that decision. If it's something you're thinking about and you want to talk through the process with me, or just have an idea of what you could net from your home sale or what you could make cash flow as a landlord, feel free to reach out to me by call, text, or email anytime. You can also check the description below. I have a link there where you can set up a time to chat with me. Before I go, let's talk about the dog of the week. This week, I'm talking about a dog at the Arizona Small Dog Rescue. Every week, I feature a dog that is adoptable at a local animal shelter in hopes that we can find them their forever home. This week, I'm talking about Carl. Carl is a 7-year-old hypoallergenic poodle mix. He is looking for a mature adult home without any kids under the age of 18. He will need a family that understands that he needs some time to warm up, but once he knows you, he's super sweet. It sounds like Carl has a few special needs to make sure that he would be the right fit for your home, so make sure you check out the link below to read more about Carl and share his information with anyone you think would be a good fit. That's all I've got for you today. I hope this information was helpful. Again, sorry Zoe and Cleo must be on a hiatus. I must have to increase their pay to get them back in these videos. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm Caitlin McKegg with HomeSmart.